Welcome back to the Rich Carroll program. I am your host, Rich Carroll. So it's been a while since I've gotten to talk to you guys. I've been very, very busy the past couple of weeks. Weddings, raising an energetic 8-month-old. You get the picture. And so I've been having a hard time really pinning down something to talk about until this past Monday when the Supreme Court finally handed down a ruling in the case of Jack Phillips versus the Colorado Civil Rights Commission. Now, if you're not familiar with this case, this all began in 2012, and a gay couple, their names were Charlie Craig and David Mullins, wanted to get married in Massachusetts, and they were going to celebrate in Colorado after the fact, and so they come down to Masterpiece Bakery, and they request that Jack Phillips make them a cake for the reception. Now, when Jack found out they were gay, he declined to bake the cake because he believes that marriage is between one man and one woman, and he did not want to participate in, he did not want to be a part of that ceremony, if you will. The couple then sued, saying that he did not have the right to refuse making the cake because he was a business open to the public and was discriminating against them because they were gay. So Jack, he endured defeat after defeat. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled against him, and it took 5 years until the Supreme Court finally handed down a ruling about this issue. And even though the High Court ruled in favor of Jack by 7-2, this is technically only what's being called a narrow victory. Now, I believe that the court, they ruled the right way. But in regard to the narrow victory, the ruling left the door open for more cases in the future regarding religious liberty and gay rights. Basically, what the court ruled on was that the Colorado Commission was biased against Jack Phillips. They did not conclusively rule on whether Jack could or could not deny his service. So the Washington Post, they kind of expound on this a little bit. They said that the court is set to consider this week whether to review a Washington State Supreme Court decision that a florist could not legally decline to provide flowers to a same-sex wedding. So the question is still open. Can people of faith deny a service based upon a deeply held religious belief? Now, before I get into all that, I just wanted to cover some of the details regarding this. Justice Kennedy, he wrote that at several points during its meeting, the Colorado commissioners endorsed the view that religious beliefs cannot legitimately be carried into the public sphere or commercial domain, implying that religious beliefs and persons are less than fully welcome in Colorado's business community. Kennedy also signaled in oral arguments that comments from members of the commission displayed religious hostility. And if you're wondering what kind of religious hostility was displayed, the Daily Signal reports that in 2014, Colorado Civil Rights Commissioner Diane Rice compared Phillips not making a cake to slavery and the Holocaust. Now let me jump over to the statement that was released by the gay couple after the Supreme Court decision was handed down. They said, "We brought this case because no one should have to face the shame, embarrassment, and humiliation of being told we don't serve your kind here." Now, I feel like that's a misrepresentation of what really happened in this case. And I say that because the Alliance Defending Freedom has, and they're the group that represented Jack in this Supreme Court case, they have documented several occasions where Jack has declined service not solely against gay couples. Some of the custom cakes that he has declined to bake include cakes celebrating Halloween, bachelor party cakes, or even a cake celebrating a divorce. So it's not like this was just some random attempt to discriminate against a gay couple. This is obviously a deeply held religious conviction that Jack holds. And that's what I think is, that leads me to one of the most important parts of this entire issue. We need to find, as a society, the distinction on where we separate gay rights and religious liberty. it would not be legal for a business owner to simply put out a sign that says, "No gays allowed." But at the same time, the state should not be forcing a business owner into deeply violating their deeply held religious beliefs. And I would imagine that when that situation arises where we have a conflict between religious liberty and gay rights, then we let due process run its course. Now, I just want to leave you with a quote from Dave Rubin. And if you don't know who Dave Rubin is, he is the host of the YouTube program, The Rubin Report. Dave is also a gay married man and a self-described liberal. Dave said, "If a baker won't bake you a cake, find another baker. Don't demand that the state tell him what to do with his private business." And if you go to my sources section, I've included a link to a PragerU video in which Dave Rubin is the host, and he kind of explains the principle behind how he came to that conclusion on this issue. And I really encourage you to go watch that, because what he has to say is not really popular in a lot of circles in today's political climate. So it was very refreshing to hear what Dave had to say. And if you get a moment, I really encourage you to go watch that. And so once again, I just want to say thank you, Dave, for espousing that idea. And I hope that we can get many more Americans on the same page that you are regarding this issue. I'm Rich Carroll. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.